Joining me now is Fox News senior political analyst Brit Hume. Boy, we've been together for a long time. Good to see you again. Well. So we've been through some of those corrections that we talked about. It's too early to tell, of course, but it does feel like we're in for another.
If I said that if I were judging this the way we used to judge races before there was a poll every 10 minutes, just on the basis of reporters' observations, I'd say this is going to be a Republican wipeout. The conditions are set for it. The issues all favor the Republicans. The Democrats' president is unpopular. His approval rating is well underwater. All these conditions are ripe for a big change. But and the House, it looks like they're going to get it. The House is almost certain to change hands. Senate's a different story, mostly because of the map. You know, this is something we've known from the beginning. It's no blinding insight, but there are 21 Republican seats being defended this time and only 14 Democratic seats, which means that the opportunities for pickups by the Republicans are much fewer than you might expect in a different cycle when a different set of senators were up for re-election. So the map is tough, and plus there's this. In the House in particular, this matters. In 2020, when Trump lost the presidency to Biden, in the House, Republicans who were forecast to lose seats not only did they not lose a single seat, they gained 14 seats. So some of the low-hanging fruit available to the Republicans for pickup are off the table. Those people are already seated in the House.
On the other hand, you have the wrong track poll. And that's a significant poll. I mean, people are looking to other details, but that's the one I track most closely. In the 2010 election, the wrong track poll was less than it is now. Right. More people now feel we're on the wrong track. I think the number's up to 71% right
huge,
now.
Yeah,
so it is a huge number of people who are dissatisfied in this country. They want to change.
They do, and you know what's interesting to me is, depending on whether the Republicans win little or win big, it'll be interesting to see how this president responds. We've seen presidents, Clinton you cited earlier, who responded by beginning to do business with the Republicans, and he tacked. But Bill Clinton was a very different breed of cat. You know, he was used to dealing with conservatives. He came from a conservative state, a southern state, Arkansas. He was interested in a lot of ideas, including some conservative ideas. Mm-hmm. So he was intellectually more nimble, I think, than Joe Biden. Joe Biden has always been sort of whatever the party was for, and he has deemed these past couple of years that the party was for this leftist agenda that he's pursued. You know, it's occurred to me more than once, David, that the worst thing that happened to Biden was actually winning those 2 Senate seats in Georgia, which gave us the 50-50, thus 51-seat majority that he enjoys with the vice president's vote. If he hadn't done that, he wouldn't have had these visions of historical sugar plums dancing in his head that got him to think, well, wait a minute, I've got a mandate. I'm going to be FDR. I am going to out-Obama. Yeah. And that's brought him to where he is.
And even those who were against Biden in the election, in the general election, didn't think he would go this far. I mean, he's always shown, he still calls himself a capitalist, by the way, and although when you look at his record, it's hard to defend that, but the economy right now is on the verge of becoming an industrialized, a government-controlled economy in many spheres, not least of which, of course, energy.
I've always thought, David, that for all the credit that's given to the tax cuts that were passed under President Trump to invigorate the economy, that what really was even perhaps more effective was the light regulatory hand that was applied during the Trump administration. And that has all changed. And that's what you're talking about.
Yep.
Is a very heavily regulated economy in service to a green agenda that I think has brought us in no small measure to the lower productivity we now have, to the energy problems that we're facing, and so on, not to mention, of course, the inflation.
And the law and order issue, which a lot of that is localized, you know, depending on the mayor you have and the governor you have that control law and order. But the border is a law and order issue that is controlled by the executive, and it's not being controlled well.
I've never seen anything quite like it because it's so obviously lawless down there. These immigrants, illegal immigrants, are streaming across the border, you know, almost unresisted, and there's no serious effort being made to deal with the issue or even really to acknowledge it. And you know, you don't see that. I've never seen that before. I mean, I've seen issues that cropped up and efforts to minimize them and so forth, but nothing quite like this. Yeah. Their attitude is, I mean, you know, they want this. They know they think that these immigrants coming in. I mean, look, I agree with them in this sense that some of these people are truly the downtrodden people of the earth. and they're coming here looking for a better life. They're not, most of them, evil people, but they're breaking the law, and the public sees that, doesn't like it. The poor people who live along the border are suffering from this influx, and this administration seems to think it's no big deal.
Brit, we got a problem, as you know, in Arizona with some of the voting that's going on. I want to get a reporter from there and then come back quickly to you. We have Kelly O'Grady now in Phoenix. Kelly, give us the latest on what's happening. I know you spoke earlier with Kari Lake directly about the problems there. Go ahead.
I did. Yes, good to see you, David. We've got two really close races, but I want to give you an update on what's going on here on the ground in Maricopa County regarding the vote tabulation machines. So for the better part of today, roughly 20% of those machines were not counting votes. Now, the Elections Division Board tells Fox that those votes are going to be counted. No one was turned away, but it is going to take a bit longer. Now, they did just share an update a few minutes ago that they have identified and are rolling out a solution. They said the printers essentially weren't producing dark enough ink to properly mark and have those ballots counted. Nonetheless, this has caused a lot of concern amongst the voters we've talked to today. Of course, voting issues has long been a big focus in the very close governor's election. Secretary of State Katie Hobbs was refusing to recuse herself from presiding over that election. So I spoke to Kari Lake earlier today after she voted about the developments. You've said before that you've wanted Secretary Hobbs, your opponent, to recuse herself. Does this intensify that feeling, and will you accept it if she doesn't?
I think she should have recused herself. She's unethical. She's incompetent. But, you know, we've been asking her to do that since July of last year. Apparently she hasn't done so. We're just going to see where things go.
Now, of course, we're going to be following that, but I do want to give you a quick update on the Senate side. Of course, Arizona could become the deciding factor in which party takes control of the Senate. Newcomer Blake Masters going after Democratic incumbent Mark Kelly for his voting record. Kelly, though, accusing Masters of extremism on some of his policies, as well as his unwillingness to work with members of his own party and, of course, those across the aisle. So what's next? The polls are going to close at 9 p.m. tonight. The first update that we can expect will be around 11 p.m. Eastern. We could be waiting on the results, though, until Friday here in Arizona. So, David, the election officials are just asking everyone for patience, but it's definitely tense on the ground right now. Back to you.
O'Grady, thank you very much for that update. Quickly, Britt, I know you got to run, but what do you make of this?
Well, it's the kind of thing we shouldn't have at this stage in the United States of America, where somebody doesn't load the ink into the voting machines so they can get the ballots to go through properly. I mean, it's just, and of course, it's a terrible advertisement for Katie Hobbs, the Secretary of State's responsible, I guess, broadly speaking, for these elections to have something like this happen. But it's so late in the game, probably won't change any votes.
Brit Hume, great to see you.
You too,
Thank
David.
you for being here with us.